Have you been a master? Do you imagine that you ever will be a master to another person? That is to say, are you a person who is being studied and watched? Now, before you say absolutely no way, please remember that as a high school junior, you are being watched. Every time that you are out in public, you have younger people who are watching, who are looking at you. I often like to ask juniors, are you prepared right now to go down into that middle school and to walk into a 6th grade classroom and say, as you get older, as you begin high school, make the choices I made. Live the life I have lived. Act the way I acted through high school. Are you prepared to say that to a bunch of 6th graders? And if your answer to that question is, yeah, no. Whatever you do, 6th graders, don't do it the way I did it. The obvious answer to that is, no, you don't understand. It's too late. They are watching you. In the same way that in 6th grade, you watched high school juniors and seniors. That's how you learned what it's like to be a high school student. That's what you were doing in 6th grade when you went to ball games, when you were out in public and you saw high school kids. You were watching them, whether you realized it or not. How do they dress? How do they walk? How do they talk? How do they look? Some of you will immediately say, whoa, that's interesting. I guess I never thought about that. I had an older brother. I had an older cousin. And I guess now that you say that, when I was in middle school, that guy, that gal was an idol. I wanted to be just like. Yeah, that's the way we are. That's the nature of this idea of lineage. The notion that we hand on to the next generation. Jumping back to 3a, you'll maybe recall that Longfellow says in Psalm of Life, in that famous kind of 2-stanza part, lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. In other words, live your life in such a way so that people can look at your life and recognize something important in your life that maybe they want to try to emulate in some way. Notice we're saying emulate, not imitate. Imitate means to do it exactly the same. Emulate means to look at and say, there's certain elements that I think I would like to have as a part of my behavior patterns, my life. Well, there you go, an introduction to Lucille Clifton and Study the Masters. And as we've said about all of these poets, I hope that you can find your way to other poets, other poems by these poets like Lucille Clifton. Thank you.